Breakroom with Marty Shields. Single stories.
Oh, I can't take another heartache. Though you say you're my friend, I'm at my wit's end. You say your love is bonafide.
Hello, welcome to the program. I'm your host, Marty, and you are in the Breakroom, Single Stories. As you can tell, I'm not in my normal set, and we'll get into that later, but the song you hear underneath me somewhere is a song by a singer-songwriter by the name of Nick Lowe. And the song you hear is kind of his only hit here in the United States, although he was a big known person in the UK, a producer, singer-songwriter. And he was also a member of one of the bands that kind of came to fame as a member of the pub rock scene in the mid to late 70s. Anyhow, before we get into the song we'll be taking a look at today, we're going to take a look at this song being done, or at least another version of it, being done by the comedian actor Bill Murray in the movie Lost in Translation. So here's the song, What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. So sit back, relax, fire up a cup of tea, and watch the pictures as they fly through the air. We'll be right back.
As I walk through this wicked world, searching for light in the darkness of eternity, I ask myself, is all hope lost? Is there only pain and hatred and misery? And each time I feel like it's inside, there's one thing I want to know. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding?
You say you gotta be cruel to be kind in the right measure.
Like, subscribe, comment. Music History thanks you.
Means that I love you, baby. You gotta be cruel to be kind.
Pencil. Welcome back to the program. Now, the song we're going to take a look at wasn't a hit. It wasn't a hit at all, but you see, my problem right now with society is that music brings people together. At least it always did, as far as I knew. There was something about music that people could all agree on. And there were songs also that at one time would talk about the problems in America and explain to us that we all need to work together. That isn't done nowadays. You don't see too many of the recording artists putting songs out that everyone can relate to. It's kind of a segmented group that they're aiming their songs at. But I thought at least I could help out by putting on a song that I think is really needed during this time in America. Again, it wasn't a big hit, unless you were a fan of the singer-songwriter Elvis Costello, which I am. In fact, this is one of my favorite songs, which is What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. And this song was originally done by Nick Lowe, and his version back in the mid-70s was kind of tongue-in-cheek. His version kind of talked about how, he heard a conversation between an executive and some other people, and the executive was asking a singer-songwriter to write some more songs that were kind of hits, and he said, well, why don't you write some of that hippie shit? This is like in the mid-70s. That hippie shit, like, about peace and love and understanding and all that crap. Let's just go ahead and shove it down their throats. And Nick Lowe thought, okay, this is what they think of us, right? They're a bunch of posers who will write whatever they want. So this song is pretty much tongue-in-cheek if you know it. So let's start out with the singer-songwriter Nick Lowe. Nicholas Lowe was born in London around 1943, I believe. He learns how to play guitar and sing a little bit. He joins a couple of different high school bands when he's younger. The first band he actually joins that does anything in 1966 is a band called Kippington Lodge.
I can see her face, mirrored in the water, call it a disgrace. She's only so
Now his band plays in a lot of clubs, a lot of schools, halls. It doesn't do too much. It does obviously, record a couple of songs like the one you hear now. But more importantly, one of the members of Kippington Lodge was a gentleman that Nick Lowe would go ahead and form another band with, and his name is Brinsley Schwarz. the Kippington Lodge band eventually kind of breaks up, and Brinsley and Nick kind of form another band. This is about 1969, and they don't really have a name for the band, so they go with the name of Brinsley, and it's called Brinsley Schwarz. Although most people in London, after a while, just know them as Brinsley. But here they are doing a song in 1969, and this is what was happening, at least for this band in 1969. Now, by the early 70s, again, song styles are changing. And of course, Nick is kind of being a singer-songwriter, he kind of goes with what's going on, in society and the culture. And the band they have now going, which is still Brinsley, is a little more like the band. As you can tell by some of these pictures, they're starting to kind of grow beards and get long hair. And Nick finds out about a young lady who's a singer-songwriter out of Los Angeles. And I'll be honest with you, I had never heard her before until I started doing the work on this particular song. Her name is Judy Sill. And Judy was a rebel. If you know anything about her or look her up, you'll see what a rebel she was. She got in herself with some trouble with the law. She was a known drug user, a very tough individual. And the songs she wrote were quite different. She had a spiritual take. I mean, she wasn't writing about God and Jesus, but her feeling was that the Bible is incorporated into our society, and there are aspects of the Bible and beliefs in the Bible that also apply to our regular day lives. The love one another, and things will work out, and we got to believe. And some of the songs she wrote were really good, and Nick Lowe became a fan. She writes a song that's probably her best known hit, although I'd never heard of it. And this song is about a breakup she has with the singer-songwriter J.D. Souther. You might know who he is. J.D. broke up with her and started dating Linda Ronstadt, which broke Judy's heart. And she writes a song about a guy who, pretty much makes his own way and tries to go and pawn it off to somebody else. But, that people do that. They have a tendency to make their own problems, and they have to realize that the outcome is a possibility. And the song she wrote that became a fairly big hit, at least I guess Nick Lowe liked it, it was called Jesus Was a Crossmaker. Here's Judy Sill. So Nick Lowe kind of starts thinking about this and the way she writes, and again he hears this from this executive talking about this hippie shit, just write something. And of course Nick is always writing songs and singing with the band Brinsley, and he writes a song that is kind of tongue-in-cheek. It's kind of like, well, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? It's like, nothing wrong with it. Why are you guys being all like, aggressive, like, let's shove it down their throats? So anyhow, here's Nick Lowe with his 1974 song, What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding.
Sometimes, where are the strong? And who are the trusting? And where is the harmony, the sweet harmony? 'Cause each time I feel it slipping away, it just makes me wanna cry. Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, so funny about love and peace and love, yeah, yeah, yeah. Must have peace, my peace and love, just for the children of the new generation.
The song doesn't go anywhere. I don't think they actually put it out into a single till much later, but there's a young man who's a singer-songwriter who's living in Liverpool. I think he was originally from England, and he wants to be a singer-songwriter, and he actually starts being a roadie for the band Brinsley. So he sees a lot of their shows, and this young man's name is Declan McManus. Declan actually forms his own band called Flip City, and here they are singing one of the songs that Declan eventually put on his first album, and some of you that are Elvis fans might know this song. I recognized it right away, but here's Flip City's version of Pay It Back. Although Declan wasn't that big of a hit with his band, he was one of the ones that started a new wave of music that came out of England in the pubs and the clubs back in the mid to late 70s. He gets a record deal and he changed his name to Elvis Costello. And Elvis has a lot of the first songs he ever produces are produced by a gentleman by the name of Nick Lowe. And so they meet each other, they become friends. Besides producing his songs, Elvis also invites Nick up on stage occasionally to perform with him when he's out and about. And here's a picture, of course. Here's Nick on the left here performing with Elvis. During a particular recording studio, they're trying to figure out what song to do, and Elvis says, "Remember the song you used to do with Brinsley, What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding?" And Nick says, "Yeah." He goes, I have a version of it. It's a little bit more punchy, but can we try that? So the song that most of you know and love by Elvis Costello, I believe, is a live version. I could be wrong, but I think I read somewhere that this is the song as it was with Elvis and the Attractions performing. So here's the song that I love and I think is very important for the times we live in. Elvis Costello doing What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding.
As I walk through this wicked world, searching for light in the darkness of insanity, I ask myself, is all hope lost? Is there only pain, hatred, and misery? There's one thing I wanna know. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Walk on through troubled times. My spirit gets so downhearted sometimes. So where it's gone, and who I trusted, and where is the harmony, sweet harmony? 'Cause each time I feel it slip away, just makes me wanna cry. What's so fun about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so fun about peace, love, and understanding?
This song kind of gets known because of Elvis's version. A lot of other performers that are coming up in the 80s are aware of this song. In fact, we have a clip of quite a few of these performers performing the song in 2004, I think 2004, on a Get Out the Vote tour. And you'll see Bruce Springsteen, I think, I know R.E.M. is there, the Dixie Chicks, Vedder's there, Matthews. Anyhow, here's their version of What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding in 2004.
1, 2, 3, 4.
some songs in their original version don't go anywhere, and not just because maybe the version isn't done well, but like Elvis's song, or at least his version of What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding, is he's in your face telling you what's so funny about it, like he wants to pick a fight. You know, you got a problem with that? What's so funny about Peace, Love, and Understanding? So some songs are needed to be done by another artist to get a different version out there, and they also have to be done in the right time, in the right place. And I think What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding was that way for Elvis, at least his version of the song. And again, like I said, it's music, you know, it brings people together, and songs like this should be out there, or at least songs like this should be recorded and written by performers. Anyhow, we need to get out here for another edition of the Breakroom, Single Stories. And by the way, the reason why I'm in my backyard is, I think I mentioned before that every year my wife and I always have like a costume Halloween party, and my set gets turned into a dance studio. So I get kicked out for a couple weeks, but I thought I'd go ahead and at least get one more program in before the party and put it out. So we'll see you all after my party. I might take some video of the party so you have an idea what it is. Maybe show a little bit next time. I don't know. If you're interested, let me know. Anyhow, take care. God bless. We'll see you next time.
Like and subscribe. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Sometimes